This is producer Petch. Together we run a website called actonthis.tv. Act On This, the TV Actors Network is its full title. You can find it at actonthis.tv. And basically, we sit down every single week with members of our community, members of Act On This, and we chew the fat with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in the game. We hold private Zoom calls for our members, helping everybody push their career forward faster. It is dirt cheap. It's £6.75 a week, just one Starbucks less. You can get involved. And price is something that we are going to talk about today, Petch, because it is on my mind. I am seeing, and we want real-time feedback for those people who are live. My God, I am seeing an explosion of turd being sold to actors all over this industry. And I thought, I'll probably get cancelled for it, but I thought I've got to come on and just talk about it for a little bit to try and help you guys differentiate between what is valuable in this industry and what isn't. And I'm not here to slate or bash. We're not going to do that, Petch. We're not going to call anyone out or name anything like that. And there is a lot of good in this industry. There are some great workshop providers, some great coaches, some great people, acting teachers, etc., doing a wonderful job in this industry. But because it is unregulated, there's no law, is there, Petch? To be honest, around anybody in this industry can go, literally, I could decide on the spot. I'm a casting director now. So I'm going to go and put in my Twitter bio, well, X, formerly Twitter, that I'm a casting director. There's no regulation around being an agent. I'm an agent now, so I'm going to go and put that in my social media bio. And unfortunately, people who don't know the industry very well, it's not their fault. They're desperate for a job. They want success in this industry. They're very easily led into parting with money.
I'll stop you there, Ross. I think even people who have been in the industry a while can still be misled.
Yeah. No,
it's not just newcomers, it's everybody.
It is everybody, definitely. And then Petch and I end up with emails every week, either from people saying, I've seen this, is it legit? And we look into the people and go, oh my God, how are they qualified to run this thing? They've never had a TV job in their life. They've never stepped foot on set. They're not even an actor. And they're offering some, they're promising the world in some acting class or some course that they're doing or some group they're putting together. And we're absolutely baffled. Like, how does this person think they can get away with this? And they're charging exorbitant prices as well. Or we get the other emails that we get through, which is, oh my God, I spent £500 on this. I don't know, this showcase I got involved in, and basically I got a glorified self-tape out of it, and I've wasted all my money. Nothing's come of it at all. Or, I did this workshop for £75 and there was 25 of us in it, and I got 1.5 minutes to perform in front of someone, and they weren't even the person I thought they were. They were advertised on the workshop as, like a big name casting office. But actually, it was the casting assistant from the office, not the casting director. And there's nothing wrong with casting assistants. They're amazing people. We get them on actonthis.tv all the time. But the workshop was missold. And it's not the assistant's fault. That's the workshop provider's fault. They are bullshitting you into making you think that you're going to get seen by this big casting director. And actually, they bring an assistant in who are not at that level yet. So there's so much that we want to discuss today in the next hour. And we want some interaction, Petch, don't we? We want people to really sort of like give us your opinions on this. Have you bought something in the industry recently that promised you the earth and actually delivered nothing? Okay, and or have you bought something and you're like, actually, this was the best thing that I ever did. This was amazing. It was super reasonably priced and it was really, really valuable. Because we are seeing, there's a lot of headlines at the moment in the industry, Petch, isn't there, around the working class and how people with lower incomes are forced out the industry. And on one hand, you'll get these people who are running these workshops championing that, going, oh yeah, all for the working classes and well for the working classes. Oh, but on this hand, I'm going to charge you £1,000 to come and be part of my thing for a few weeks. And they've never even had an acting job in their life. So it's interesting. So we thought we would jump on and have a chat about it. I've got a number of things to go through here, Petch, in terms of sort of like headings for kind of things within this.
He's come prepared. He's made notes.
Yeah, I have, and I hope you are as well, because I sent Petch a WhatsApp before. I was like, Petch, think of some ways to make sure that you wouldn't get ripped off in this industry. So what we want to do is really walk you through some things that you can do to check that the person or the organisation you are getting something from is actually legit, and to be completely non-biased. What I'll do it on myself, Petch. For those people who don't know me, there might be people who are watching me and you for the first time, and they're like, who's this joker? They've never seen me. They might be thinking of joining actonthis.tv, becoming part of our community. We've got 1,000 members in our community. Honestly, I swear it's the most legit community on on earth when it comes to acting, but I understand people might be seeing me for the first time. They're like, do I even trust this guy? So I'm going to show you how you would look me up, how you would vet me, so that you can go and vet other people to make sure that they are legit. Have we got any shout outs to do, Petch, and stuff for people tuning in and things?
We've got people tuning in, but before we do that, I just wanted to ask you,
as
you run a community that is for actors, by actors, and we're here to look after actors in their careers and things like that, when is it appropriate for you to start naming and shaming? I mean,
I never would. It's not my place. Absolutely not my place. I'm not anybody's dad. For me, what I want to do is educate people in our space so they can go and do their own due diligence. Like, I don't want to sound harsh, but if you get ripped off of the industry, it's sort of like, it is in a way your own fault because you should have done more research. I'm not saying it's entirely because people are convincing and they've got, they might have slick sales and marketing and stuff like that. But after we've been through this, hopefully you'll be in a better position to do due diligence. I would never call anybody out. I'm just not about that. I don't want any drama in my life, but I do want to educate people. And I'm all for people running businesses. Act On This is a business. It has to be profitable for me to be able to pay Petch, for me to be able to put the 12, 15 hours a day into this. But equally, I'm a working actor who works and gets paid very well in TV. So I feel I can run this community. The day I stop acting, I don't know if I would do it anymore because I'd feel a bit of a charlatan. Like, how can I run a community showing people or telling people I can help them get acting work in the TV industry if they do the right things and the coaching that we put out there, if I'm not doing it myself? I just think it's hypocritical. If I'm not booking work, if you went on my IMDb page, International Movie Database page, and you saw that I'd not worked in 3 years and I'm still here, saying, oh, this is what you do to get an acting job, but I'd not done that in 3 years, I'd be like, I'd feel shit about that. I'd be like, I'm not going to do this anymore. So yeah, I just wish other people were like that as well. So
we've got many people joining. Nick Dutton says greetings from Albania.
Dutton's in Albania. Nick said, Act On This member. What are you in Albania for, Nick? Are you filming something? Let us know.
And Gary Rowley says, afternoon, Petch. Afternoon, Ross.
All right, Gary, how you doing?
Many people that have joined.
I love it. If you want us to bring your comments up on screen, because we do want interaction, come over to this live stream on YouTube, folks. If you go to youtube.com/Act On This TV, if you leave a comment on YouTube, we will be able to bring your comments up on screen. Same on X as well. We just can't do it on Instagram. The way that Instagram allows you a live stream isn't, you can't connect to it in that way to actually pull up comments. But we will keep an eye on everything.
We'd actually have to go into the video. Don't just tweet underneath it or anything like that. We won't see that. Go into the video. There's a little box that says chat and put your comments in there. Yeah,
there's a little box at the very bottom of the video. If you click into the video on X, it says live chat. If you write your comments there, we can bring them up on screen for you. So yeah, so first things first, Pace. Point number one here, I've just got here that there's ultimately more choice than ever before. There's been an explosion of organisations, actors, ex-actors, work providers, I don't know, business people coming into the acting industry and just, setting up, I mean, like every kind of thing you can imagine, whether it's workshops, whether it's seminars, whether it's, live events, courses, pre-recorded courses, live courses, I mean, acting classes, absolutely everything. There's probably more choice than ever out there for actors, and whether you're new or you've been in the industry a while, it can be pretty overwhelming. You might be like, hang on a minute, there's so much on offer. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want to buy. I don't know if this price is valuable. I don't know if it's good value. I don't know if this person is legit. So ultimately, yeah, that's another reason why we're doing this. There is just sort of like more noise in the industry than ever before. Okay. Point number two then on here is it's really, how do you know if people are legit? How do you know if people are legit? Now, I know you've got some points there, but I'm going to bring up let's share up my web browser on here. I'll do it in a second, and we'll show you how you can look people up. Now, there's a lot of people in the industry, current actors, ex-actors, I mean, just from all over, isn't there, really? Ex-agents, casting directors, ex-casting directors, everybody you can possibly think of. But a lot of actors are setting things up, and they are, again, in my opinion, promising people things that they never achieved themselves. So let's look at, like, if an actor has set something up initially, Petch, how we can vet that person. So I'll share my screen. I think one of the first ways, if it's anything to do with screen or TV, film or TV, anything to do with screen acting or anything like that, is to have a look at what they have done via two places. The first one is imdb.com, which is International Movie Database. Anything that's been on screen, film or TV, ever in the history of, like, mankind, Petch, I think, has been up on imdb.com. So you got that right. So this is imdb.com, folks. You can find this. So let's say I'll use me as an example, right? Let's just say you see this guy, Ross Grant, and you've no idea if he's legit or he's full of shit, and he's selling you something that could be a membership on Act On This, which is £6.75 a week, or our flagship program, it's called First TV Role Fast Track, which is £747. So that's a fair chunk of change, right? The membership on Act On This is very, very accessible, very, very cheap. But we do some programs that are a little bit, more expensive than that. So let's say I'm like, okay, right, I'm interested in signing up, maybe getting involved in this person's stuff. I would go over to imdb.com and literally just type in my name. I go, Ross Grant, right. Let's have a look. That's not me. That's Grant. Who's Grant Ross trying to take my crown there?
Take his spot.
He's knocked me off the top spot. Right, so you can see me below Grant Ross, right? It's like my alter ego. So I click on Ross Grant, okay? It's going to bring up my profile. So you can read a little bit about me on IMDb. Having a profile file on IMDb is all right, but don't really mean that much. It means that, maybe you've done a couple of things. You can get on IMDb by just doing a short film, a student film, a pilot. Doesn't necessarily mean you've done anything good. So you'd want to scroll down to the known for section and then credits, okay? So you can see there's like things that are known for. I mean, The Stranger, it's a massive show on Netflix, years and years, written by Russell T Davies, huge TV show. Played a guy called Billy Fitz in that. Age Before Beauty, Last Tango in Halifax, decent shows, right? But some of those are quite old. Some of those like 2019, 2020, 2013, Last Tango in Halifax. So you go, okay, he's been in the industry quite a while then. What's he doing now, though? What if he stopped working in 2013 and now he's full of shit trying to sell me this stuff? So you go down to like the recent credits. So you can see this year, Rec on BBC went out. Me and Petch were in that. Me and producer Petch were both in that. Coronation Street, did an ep of Coronation Street. I've done a few episodes of Coronation Street, but did an ep of Coronation Street back in February this year. After the Flood, great ITV drama that came out this year. Fool Me Once, that was another really good Netflix show written by Harlan Coben, starred Richard Armitage, Michelle Keegan. Really good people. You can see 2020, 4 credits. 2023, nothing really came out in 2023. I filmed a lot in 2023. But you got 2022. Consistent work, basically, over the years in TV with, really, really decent shows. So that's a good start, right? I'm still not like, right, okay, I'm definitely going to give this guy 750 quid. Okay, so there's more that you can do. I think next up, Petch, what do you reckon? Try to find their agent's website or maybe look at their showreel on X or social media or something.
Well, it'll both lead to the same place, really. If you go to X, your agent should be there, right?
You will find sometimes people link to their agent's site or their spotlight in their formerly Twitter bio. But social media is a really good way to do this. So if I just go to x.com, hang on. Oh, I nearly went to x.com in the wrong browser there, Petch. I nearly went in. I nearly cut us off the live stream. X.com. Right, let's have a look. This is just going to load. X. Okay, so again, I'm searching for Ross, right? Well, I actually know my handle on here. It's just Ross A. Grant. Come and follow me on X and drop me a message if you need anything. So I'm like, okay, right, who's this guy then? Okay, so it says actor, presenter, voice of CBeebies Timpo. That was a children's show that I did. It was an animation. Creative Act On This and Bulletproof Actor. Visually impaired, I've got a visual impairment. I've got something called retinitis pigmentosa. And I linked to Act On This there as well. So I'm like, okay, right. Okay, so not my spotlight or anything like that. But if I scroll down, I've got my show reel. Okay, right, let's see, if this guy actually any good and if he's done any decent work. We've seen his IMDb, but let's see if he can actually act. So you could go and watch my show reel there if you want. You could just type in Ross Grant. This is always to do if it's an actor that's running something. You could type in Ross Grant and then just the word actor, and again, just see what comes up. Anyone got any profiles? This person done anything decent? And then you'll find that agent, there's in Hollywood, my agent. Okay, right, with a decent agent. Okay, right, what, is there anything on there? So this is again just about me and some of the things that's come out recently. So at this point, I'm like, okay, right, this person's probably legit. We've checked out their IMDb, we've checked out their agent, we've checked out the social media. They are working. That's probably a good start. Now, what we've seen, Petch, when we've done this with people, if I just take that off the screen for a sec, is they'll be running courses, they'll be running stuff, they'll be charging a lot of money, hundreds of pounds, if not £1,000 plus. And we go on their IMDb, we go, hang on a minute, you've never had a TV show in your life, film job in your life, you might have done a couple of shorts. You have no agent, you qualifies you to promise somebody that you can help them get a job. Like what, you've seen that, I've seen that, what else would you say on that?
No, I agree totally. They're promising the success that you want for something that they've never had themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I promise you, if you want to achieve anything in your life, the fastest way to do it, and I mean this in all elements of life, whether it's getting a different body composition and getting fit, whether it's starting a business and earning more money and something creative, any endeavor you want to be successful at, the fastest way to learn how to do that is to go to somebody who's 5 to 25 years ahead of you and ask them how they did it. You want to go to someone who has done that. You don't want to go and learn something from someone who has never done it. We had a great guest on Act On This called Babu Cisse, a BAFTA-nominated actor, and he said something brilliant. It'll always stick with me. He said, why would I ever want to go and learn how to do self-tapes from somebody who doesn't do self-tapes to get work? And if they do self-tapes to get work, I wouldn't want to go and learn from somebody who isn't booking work through self-tapes. And yet we see every man and his dog setting up self-tape workshops and self-tape classes. They've never actually done a self-tape in their life. Why would you want to go and learn from someone who doesn't do the thing that they're teaching you to do? You get it in the internet marketing world a load. You get people selling people software and things to help them sell things that they don't use to sell that software. So ironic. You don't use the thing you're selling me to help me get more sales to sell the thing you're selling. Bullshit. Like, it's literally ridiculous. So that's the first thing. Yeah, look people up. Really, really, please take time to look people up. If it sounds too good to be true, it often is. If you can't find anything on these people and they're like, oh yeah, I've worked in TV. What type of TV? We see people in this industry selling shit where and there's people who have set up companies and people even set up agencies saying they've got loads of TV experience and they've just done reality TV. They've done Come Dine With Me, Love Island. I've got a vast TV experience. No, you haven't. You've been on some reality show and you got voted out like dead quick. Like, how can you promise anybody like an actual acting job? You've never done one. Other red flags, Petch, around people advertising stuff. What about like pricing? Or have you got anything to add to that? I'm seeing what's next on my list.
Pricing was going to be the next thing that I was going to suggest as well. Like, compare it to the market already. Is it in alignment? Is it way too expensive? Is it way too cheap? I mean, you get what you pay for sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I've got nothing against high prices. For me, it's just about weighing up whether it's valuable or not. There's coaches that I have paid thousands of pounds to in and out of the acting industry who have been brilliant. Equally, there's people who I wouldn't give them a tenner because, again, when you look them up, they've not done anything. So one thing that's a real red flag for me when it comes to pricing is people being really opaque with the pricing. So when it comes to workshops in this industry, you'll see people tweeting and Instagramming their advertisements, and it'll just say, email us for details. I hate that. I'm like, why are you scared of putting your prices on there? And we found from behind the scenes that very often they don't want to put their prices on there because the person that they have got in to do the workshop, the casting director, the casting assistant, the casting associate, does not know how much that provider is charging every actor to be there. So what will happen is the provider will ring the casting director up and go, oh, hi, yeah, will you do a workshop with us? Or the casting assistant or associate, we'll pay you £400 if you come and do a morning with us. And they go, oh, okay, yeah, sweet. They don't know how much they're charging actors. Now, the Casting Directors Guild have real strict guidelines around this. It has to be reasonable. It can't be, 100 quid, 150 quid or whatever. But what they'll do, they won't advertise the price publicly. They'll say, email us for it. And then they can do two things. They tell you the price that the casting director never finds out. And the other thing they can do is they can sell you on fake scarcity. So I know companies do this, okay? So what that means is you'll email and say, I'm interested in the workshop with such and such a body. Now, they'll email you back the price, but they will also say, Dave, we've actually got just 2 spaces left. These are probably going to go today. Do you want us to save you one? If you just wire us the money over in our bank, we'll save your place. They've actually got 15 places left because they're cramming way too many people at the workshop anyway. They're cramming 20 people in. 20 people across a 2-3 hour workshop, you're literally getting a minute and a half in front of a casting director who will give you a little bit of feedback, and then you do it again, and then you sit there for an hour and 45 minutes watching everybody else. What a waste of time. So that's what they'll do. They won't tell you the price. They'll make you email them for the price. They'll give you the price along with some fake bullshit scarcity about how there's only a couple of places left to force you into buying one. So I see that on price. Anything else on price, Patch? I think what you were just mentioning there about looking at how many places are offered.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, there could be, 20, 30 people. one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and you're only getting a couple of minutes to perform, if that.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a complete waste of time. Definitely. Tom, good evening, good afternoon. I can see lots of people give a couple of shout outs on Instagram. Rico, how you doing? Laura, thanks for being here. Carrie, how you doing? Megan's in the house. Nina's here. Fiona's here. Loads of people are here. So we're just talking really about avoiding getting ripped off, because there's so much shit being sold to actors in the industry right now. So look at how many people are on a workshop, right? In my opinion, if it's more than 15, I don't want to do it. Right, I don't want to do many workshops at all, because I just don't think they're the place necessarily that I'm gonna, I'm really gonna excel or get much experience after you've done a couple of them. If there's a casting director you really want to meet, it can be useful, but you don't have to go to every single one.
Most kind of courses as well, especially if they're offering you like one-to-one coaching and things like that. How much time has that instructor really got to spend with you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, How much are you gonna get in the whole process? Are you gonna get an hour with somebody, or are you gonna get an hour a week, or what are you gonna get? Be really, specific. Like asking them for details of exactly what you're gonna get. So pricing. As I say, there's no set limit on pricing for me, in terms of like, I'm not like everything should be under this amount or that amount. Like, I'll pay whatever it costs if the thing is valuable. But I do think that workshops that are 75, 100 quid are a complete rip-off. There are really good companies out there. I just sponsored Just Add Milk, who are a company that really fight for accessible training. And I've got no affiliation with them, no, any kickback or anything like that. But I've just sponsored one of their bursaries through Act On This, because all their workshops are really reasonable, like 30 quid or something like that. And they have good names, and they don't cram them full of 30 people, 25 people, etc. So there are good people out there. I don't want this to be all doom and gloom. But
I think that's the next thing that I've got on my list, actually, is the guests, the name. Now, as you said before, assistants and associates, I think they're super valuable. In fact, if you can make connections with the assistants and the associates now, they're going to be the casting directors of tomorrow. So definitely work on building those networks now. But I've seen workshops and other courses where they bill someone as a casting director, and it's actually the assistant or the associate.
Or they will sell it. They'll put a top name, because it'll be the office that they'll sell. Such and such a body from, I don't want to name anybody, but from a very well-known casting director's office. And they'll use the main casting director's name, but when it won't be that person, it will be sometimes an assistant or an associate. And like we said, we're not, they're amazing people, they're great, and they often won't know how it's even being sold anyway, or how much each actor is paying. But they're not being truthful with the advertising, which I really don't like. Or it shows that they've got such lack of knowledge, the people who are running these things. That's another thing as well. Some people literally run this stuff in the industry who have never worked in the industry at all. They're just business people. And again, it's a capitalist society. You can do what you want, set up any business you want, but look at the people who are running them. Are they actors, or are they just looking at this as a business to just make money? Is there heart in it, or do they not give a shit once you've paid? Will they not refund you once you've paid? Look at refund policies as well. We get a lot of people who email us because they might have booked something 3 months out, and they're giving so much notice, and the people just will not budge on it. No, you're not going to refund. Not going to refund. Not going to refund. I only want people's money if they really want to give it me, in terms of the ethos around Act On This. I don't want to take any actor's money if they're not 110% happy, to pay me the money for the service that we provide. So we'll always refund people. We have a 30-day refund policy on Act On This. If you take a membership out in the first 30 days, if you've never joined before and you don't like it, I will give you your money back. Other people won't. That's why oh God, it annoys me.
The other thing to do with guests, though, is sometimes you'll see names of people and you won't recognize them. So again, do your due diligence. I can't say that word.
Due diligence.
That's it. As Ross just showed you earlier on him, but do that on the guest as well. Find out what they've been working on. How relevant are they? Are they working at the moment? Did the last thing they cast was like 10 years ago, but they're still going by a casting director?
That's happened. And again, there's nothing wrong with people who have got experience in the industry offering that experience, but the industry moves so quickly. In my opinion, if you've not, let's say, for example, somebody, hasn't cast, a casting director worked in the industry in 2015, loads and loads and loads, like 9 years ago. How much has changed in the last 9 years? Should they really be running workshops today when the whole self-tape game has completely changed it? Do they really have a grasp on exactly how a casting office works if they've not been in one for 9 years? Can they really offer quality stuff? As I say, if you do this due diligence, you research people. If you are learning from people who have the thing that you want already, that for me is where I learn the most when I am the student. So yeah, ultimately research, guess. Other things to look out for. We've seen people with very embellished, if not really freaking fake testimonials on their adverts, on their sales pages. So Act On This, if you go to, is again something, I'm not just there to go, oh, I do everything right. I'm sure I could do everything, even better. But if I show you, if I bring my web browser up again, something that I pride ourselves in, Petch, here. Not my CV. that's my agent's website.
You should take pride in that.
Well, I do. But if I go to actonthis.tv, if I go to our website, you will find all over it Trustpilot reviews. Trustpilot is the largest independent body of reviewers in the world. Okay, it's quite a lot of money to even be part of Trustpilot as a business. And you can see on here, I mean, I have no control over this at all. Our members can go and leave whatever they want on our Trustpilot. Literally whatever they like. Okay, these aren't made up, these aren't fake. You'll see the word verified next to them. This shows that it was a customer that actually paid. That happens at the checkout level. Once someone's bought from us, Trustpilot sends them a review request. I don't do it. Trustpilot sends it them. Okay, I have no say over this at all. So you can go and write whatever you want on there. But if you have a look at all of our reviews, I mean, 4.9 out of 5 stars we've got, 237 reviews. These are all absolutely legit. My only regret is I didn't sign up sooner. Incredible content, a wealth of information. The information is all clear and presented, warm, friendly. This is all good. An incredible resource. Act On This is a fantastic platform. Lots of useful information. Every actor should get on Act On This. There are reviews. Like, they're legit. But what we find is when we look at other people's shit, Patch, is one, they're not on Trustpilot, so it's not on an independent platform. They're literally just, they've created, they put a picture of somebody that could be real or might not be real, and they've just written a quote next to it. So it's not an actual customer that's written it. The person selling the course has written it themselves. And we've seen either what we think are blatantly fake ones, or, Petch, we've seen very vague testimonials. Do you want to go into that a little bit? Because we've seen loads of those recently.
Again, I don't want to name names or give anything away, but we've seen some, and what I do straight away is I, again, Google the name of the person who's left that review, and I see what they've done, because in the review it'll say, oh, they are now starring in this, or they are now got that agent, or
they're a lead in this. They sign with an agent straight after this. An agent.
Yeah, so I go on Google and I do everything that Ross said before, and I look, and the agency is either like brand new or not. I don't want to say not very good, because all agents are good, but they're just
in their infancy, not established. Yeah,
they're not established. And then you look at their IMDb and there's nothing on there. You look at the Spotlight and it's fringe theatre. So it's like, you may be a lead in a show, but what's the show? And don't hide behind it. It's really mis-selling information, mis-selling language, I find, in the testimonials.
Yeah, it's like, I instantly got a lead role. Well, yeah, but in what? And again, there's nothing wrong. We all start somewhere. But, that lead role, like Pet said there, was when we've looked and we've researched these people, was in a student film or was in a fringe theatre show, which is great. It's all experience. We're not bashing anybody. But it's it's misleading. It's just misleading information to make you part potentially with a lot of cash. Because like, leading role, not on Netflix. Leading role, in the local play or something like that. Again, it's doing the research and not just getting overexcited and just jumping in, knee-jerk reaction. We've had a lot of people do that, and they've emailed us once they've asked for a refund or something, not to us, for the company that they've had a knee-jerk reaction and bought something from, and the companies have just been like, nope, not giving you money back, not giving you money back. They're just shysters out to just get cash, and once they've got the cash, it's very difficult to get them to give it you back. Testimonials I've got there. Other things to look out for. Fake scarcity. So I mentioned this before, where they'll email you and they'll be like, oh, there's only 2 places left, and there's not. Other things to think about are like, yeah, just sort of like we put deadlines on stuff, Petch. So when we launch First TV Roll Fast Track, we'll keep it open for 4 weeks or so for registration, and then it'll close at midnight one night. And then it really does close. Like, honestly, folks, like, maybe by the time I've taken the page down, it might be 10 past midnight or something like that. But it genuinely closes. Whereas, again, you'll see other tactics people use around letting people in after deadlines, emailing you the next day, pretending there's some technical thing. Oh, there's a technical fault, and we know there was lots of people who wanted to get in, so we're going to keep it open for another week. Oh, that's convenient, isn't it? You mean you didn't sell as many places as you thought with your fake scarcity, so now you're keeping it over. Why don't you just be honest and go, guys, actually, we didn't sell out, so we are just going to keep it open for 3 more days. Just be honest. It's fine to be honest. It's fine to change your mind about stuff. It's all right. But that can happen quite a bit. The other thing that I'm seeing as well, this is just to warn UK actors about, and again, I'm not saying everything's bad, but I don't know why you would get involved in this stuff. There's an awful lot of American people who work in the American industry, which is so different to the UK, selling really expensive packages, 10 grand plus, to say, oh, I'm going to take you over to America and I'm going to introduce you to a few casting directors. Unless you have an O1 visa, which is only given in the official language terms to aliens of extraordinary ability, so someone who's not from the US, who has extraordinary ability.
Lottery.
Yeah, or you end up with a green card. Yeah, there is absolutely zero point in exploring America just yet. You generally, to get an O1 visa, need a lot of profile in this country, or you need to be attached to a major project in the States, have a studio sponsor you. Studios will not touch people who are not who do not have valid visas and are not members of SAG-AFTRA, the union in the States. There are so many hurdles to get over, and if you've never had a job in the UK, please do not give 5-10 grand to these. Again, I think they're just bullshit companies. They'll generally have Hollywood in the name. They'll be selling you some sort of nonsense around promising you fame and fortune and a career like Brad Pitt. Have a look at people who have done those things in the past. If you can find people, that's really good. If you can find other people who have done these programs who are not the fake testimonials, but real people. I don't know anybody who's done one of those and has had success. I know lots of people who have built a career here and have then applied the official route and now have success in America. Lots of my friends do. But not through some sort of, let's just fast track you through some sort of immigration thing, or we'll try and attach you to a fake project. That's what people used to do years ago. They'd attach people to a fake project that wasn't even legit to try and con the American government into saying that, they should give you a visa. Like, please, again, just be careful. Get established in the UK first. I talked to Rachel Shenton, Oscar-winning Rachel Shenton yesterday about this. I said, have you seen how many people are promising people success in America before they've had anything here, if they give them 10 grand? And she was like, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. And she's working a lot in America. Nonsense. What's Jed saying?
Says, you're the real deal, guys. Probably the best honest service for actors in the UK.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. No, honestly, like, I'm not the police, and I'm not trying. I would never name anyone, never call anyone. It's not my job to do it. But sometimes I'm like, I've got to say something, just because, like, I genuinely do. Anyone who's been a member of Act On This TV, I've been running this community for 14 years. I think that one way to build a really good business is to care about the people you're serving, and anyone who's been in our community patch, hopefully they've experienced that with us. We're literally on hand all day, every day in our community hub. We do live calls every single week. Try and give as much free content out, because I know people might not be able to afford a membership, even though it's £6.75 a week. That's it. I know not everyone will be in a position to do that, and it boils my blood when I see people who are just not qualified to be running stuff, who just might have some slick words or a flashy website, bullshitting actors into giving them £1,000. And I'm like, we're the ones who end up with the emails with the, oh my God, I can't believe I've done this, in the tears. Yeah. And I'm like, I've got to say something about it to try and stop people falling for this bullshit. And like I say, if you do, it's kind of not on us, but, I'm not here to father anybody or like be like, oh no, just don't do that or do it. Do what you want, but be careful.
So Sharon Spink on Instagram says, can trading standards or equivalent help with these scammers?
I honestly don't know. Sharon is the answer to that, to be honest with you. It's an unregulated industry, I honestly do not know. I really do not know the answer to that. I'm just like, just be careful. Ultimately, like, if you do what we've told you to do on this live stream and you look people up, you shouldn't ever be in a position where you need trading standards. If people have worked regularly in the year they are running something, if they've got a track record of working in the industry, if you go on their social media, you watch their show reel, you look at their agent's website, you watch their show reel, if they're doing the thing you want to do and they're only promising you to get you to the level that they are at, that's fine. I don't think you can argue with that. If they're promising you, we know a couple of kids, I call them kids because I'm old now, but they run I mean, I don't know if they still do it, but about a year ago we were seeing some people pop up on Instagram who were running a coaching service for actors. It was about £500 for a coaching package, and both actually openly admitted that they'd never had an agent before and they'd never had a TV job before, and they were promising to help actors get agents and TV jobs. I'm like, it just baffles me. And then when actors buy that stuff, I'm like, how can you be so naive? So it's insane.
I'm going to put you on the spot a bit here, Ross.
Go on then.
Here we go. You're an actor. We've done all the research on you. We can tell that if you were to run any acting kind of workshop or course or anything like that, you're a trustworthy guy.
Yeah.
First TV role, fast track. You've got your first TV role. I know I'm going to come to you, and I did come to you, and it worked for me.
And you got your first TV role through it, and we have dozens of testimonials, video testimonials. So when we do testimonials for first TV role fast track,
I noticed how he's changing the subject.
One sec, but we record videos with the people, so you know they're not just stock photography. These are real people, and then we put their name, the role that they got through doing our program, and we show the footage of them on TV in the show that they got because of our program. So it's like, you can't make that shit up. We don't just put a stock photography, we download a nice looking person and write, Joe blogs, this was the best course I ever did. It's insane. But go on, Petch, yeah.
So acting wise, I know to come to you. You have done another flagship program, Bulletproof Actor. It's all about mindset.
Yep.
I guess what I'm trying to ask here is, other people who have built up a credible body of work in one area, then sets up a course in another area. How do we know that we're not getting scammed from them?
As in they just... So I've seen this a couple of times in terms of people get a taste for something and they realise, they go, oh, hang on a minute. I sold this to actors. Hang on a minute, I could just sell them this. And they decide they're going to sell something that might not be aligned with their experience, I suppose. I try to think of like of an example. I'm all for people expanding their product line. So if I'm running any other company in the world and I'm Coca-Cola and I go, okay, actually, why don't we do a Diet Coke? Why don't we do a Coke Zero? Why don't we do Lemon Coke or whatever? I think they did that at one point, didn't they? So people are absolutely entitled to skill up and offer another product. So say, for example, I don't know, I wanted to go and study stage combat, and then I wanted to run a combat course. As long as I've gone away and I've got the qualifications and I've got the credentials to back that up, I see nothing wrong in that. But what I do see, is sometimes I see people who are qualified in one area, but then they go, hang on a minute, I can exploit what I've built here, because this has got credibility. So I'll exploit the credibility I have here to sell something that I think I can get away with selling, but I'm not really as credible, or I'm not as qualified to do this. And I just think that's dangerous, because I think you'll get found out ultimately. Like, I see that, and I would class that as selling out, as I see, people, they go, okay, you're good at one thing, but now, now you're selling out. So it might be a company that's good at show reels, but then suddenly they go, hang on a minute, we can upsell actors to voice reels here, but they've never worked in voiceover in their life.
Speaking of show reels, Chris Stone has just joined.
All right, Chris Stone. Chris Stone's legit on show reels. But yeah, I'm sure Chris Stone is not going to go, hang on a minute, I'm going to make actors voice reels. He's never worked in the voiceover industry before. So, I'm not saying stay in your lane. I'm saying if Chris upskilled and decided he was going to go do a 6-month course in engineering in a studio and worked with professional voiceover artists, listened to 100 voiceover demos and worked in an agency for 6 months, go and do voice demos. But you get people who they get a little taste for stuff, and then they go, oh, hang on a minute, I can exploit these people. I've seen people
how do we as actors protect ourselves from that?
By the research again, by going and looking if they've got any history of working in that field. For me, it's all about when anyone in the acting industry, generally speaking, I think that are helping actors get jobs, I think should be actors who are getting jobs. And if they're not, I'm not giving them any thought. I'm not saying you can't be a good coach. So for example, a boxing coach might be able to coach a boxer without ever having fought as a boxer, but I'd still go and rather learn off Mike Tyson how to punch somebody. Just to be honest with you.
Bite someone's ear off.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, that person can't offer something, but if they're charging the same as Mike, I'd rather pay Mike. And that's what you get in this industry. You get people charging exorbitant prices, and they've got nothing to back it up. They've got no history in the industry. And I said, I might have mentioned at the start of this, I can't remember if we said it. I know I said it to you loads of times. The day I stop booking acting work, I'm not going to run this. Because it's just, and I'd probably, I could probably get away with it, and I could probably be qualified enough to do it because I've had so much experience, but that experience would quickly become outdated. That's what I was saying before. You get a casting director who might have worked at the BBC in 2015. In 2024, if they've never cast anything since, should they be running workshops for 150 quid? When the whole entire industry's changed? They're not in the office every day. They're not dealing with producers now. They're not dealing with directors. They're not dealing with the process as they would do if they were working in it and they were immersed in it. I'm not saying they can't offer anything. Of course they can. They've had a lot of experience. But are they going to be able to offer what someone who's doing it now could offer and charging the same price? For me, it's about value. There are always better options out there if you look for them. Basically. So it might sound like one massive rant, guys, but I'm just a bit bored
it's fine.
of seeing people exploited. And it is, and as I say, it does end up being you and I sometimes, Pets. You end up with these emails where people are literally like, well, that's it, I've been to equity and they can't help me, this person won't refund me, I feel like I was pressured into it. You get some of the particularly the American that Hollywood stuff. I hear people, they get them on a call and they really pressure them into high pressure selling. So be careful for that. You can always say no. Think about it. Don't just jump into something. If they're like, right, should we put that through for you now? On a Zoom call or something, they'll call it a discovery call. Or this is another thing as well. People do free trainings. I promise you, anytime you see someone doing a free training, and that even includes us, right? We do free trainings sometimes to launch products. But I will make sure if I'm doing a free webinar with people. So when we launch First TV or Fast Track, we do a 90-minute training to show you what's going to be involved in the program. But that training itself, I make so valuable that you could go away and still implement stuff that would help you get your first TV role that very day. It's all practical. It's not me showing you, a couple of bits and hiding the rest. It's me going, you know what, here's some training on how to get your first TV job. Here's how I got my first 12 jobs. And I go over it for 90 minutes. And then at the end we say, listen, if you want to dive in deeper and you want someone to hold your hand for 12 months, for a full year, join First TV Role Fast Track. It's 750 quid, but we will take you through 16 hours of live coaching and we will give you 12 months of daily support. So when you break that down over a year, it's not very much money. What you find is in this industry is people will just, they'll go, oh, this is going to be free just to freaking get you there. They'll give so little value, or they'll give you 20 minutes of nonsense and then they'll sell you something for loads of money. Like, be aware there is nothing free in life, right? Honestly, like I said, even when we do free trainings, it's free, but there is still an upsell at the end. I think our free trainings are valuable on their own, but loads of people's aren't. They're just to get you there, and they'll even use a name to get you there, and then they'll get rid of that name off the call so that name doesn't see them sell the thing. It's just what's happening. Honestly, be aware of this, folks. Otherwise, yeah, you are potentially just throwing money away, basically. Sounds like a Grant's rant, doesn't it?
It's always Grant's rants. Anything else that you think people should look at?
That's most of the stuff on my list there. I'm trying to think of other red flags and things that people do that people might not be aware of. I think we've covered most things.
We've covered this one when we're talking about guests and things like that, but I've put down here, like, read between the lines of like the language that people are using to sell their stuff. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, chances are it is. So like, cut it all back and go, what are they actually saying here with this language? And then you'll kind of be in a better mindset from there. Language
is really important as well. Especially, look out for vagueness. That's a big thing. Look out for vagueness. When they're like using vague terms like, you'll be seen by top agents. Who's top in your eyes? Because they're probably exploiting your lack of knowledge of names within agencies or agencies in general, because you're not living and breathing this stuff. We're obsessed because it's our lives. But if you're not, I could say, oh yeah, here's 3 agents, and you might go, oh, they sound great, but they could have loads of actors on their books. They could be pretty much just walk-on agencies. What's a top agent? Be careful, or we'll put you in front of top casting directors. Will you? What do you mean by top casting directors? With respect to the casting directors who, have cast a couple of commercials and some student stuff, or are they casting Bridgerton? Are they casting The Witcher? Are they casting, like big stuff? What are they casting? What makes them top? People throw the word top around loads in this industry. And very often those guests are not working at the top. Okay, so vague language. Be careful of vagueness. Let's get specific. Who are you going to see? Where do they work? What are their credits? What's their track record?
Don't be scared to ask this as well. Like, get in touch with the organizers. If it is a person or if it's a business, email them and ask them, get specific answers from them. Get in touch with the people who have given these testimonials. Again, ask them questions that you want answering. People will get back to you, I'm sure. Yeah. And anyone who's a member of actonthis.tv, feel free to post in our community forum. Because we'll generally have knowledge of everything that's going on in the industry, right? There's 1,000 acts on this. There's 1,000 members in Acts on This. We get emails from people all the time. We get questions from people all the time. We're in the industry every single day. We see what people are doing. We've generally got a pretty good knowledge of what's legit and what isn't. And there is a lot of legit. I don't want this to all be doom and gloom and be like, oh, well, everyone's out to get my money. That's not the case. There are some solid organizations in this industry. Probably only half a dozen, though. It's not many. There's a lot of people who are just out to exploit actors, promise you stuff. Come to my class and I'll represent you. What? Are they actually a decent agent, or is that just another carrot on the end of the stick to go, oh, well, if I go to this acting class and pay X amount a week, I'll get an agent out of it? It's not how this industry works. That's a good point, that actually. Have a look at how many businesses these people actually run. Yep. Because there are people out there that do a little bit of everything. And you can do a little bit of everything, but you can't do everything well. Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. So yeah, look out for that. I mean, again, I'm not saying that's the case in all instances. There are some really good agencies attached to, wider organizations that do workshops and stuff like that. They were agents before they set those workshops up. So it's sort of they've got a track record. But if it's like, oh, I'm just going to set an acting class up, come to my class and I'll rep you as well. Well, what's your track record of that? Are you any good? Are you promising me stuff you can't, achieve yet? Or are you honest with me and you're saying, actually, we're going to set up an agency alongside this. We're brand new. We're going to do our best. And that's great. As long as people are honest. Everyone has to start somewhere. It's fine to just be open.
With the agency thing, though, be careful of this in contracts where they sign you and then you have to attend workshops.
Oh, we saw that in I've only seen that once or twice in the entire industry, but yeah, where someone signed with an agency and it's like, it's part of the terms and conditions. You are saying you will attend all of our workshops. I'm like, where's your incentive to get me a job if I'm paying you to rep me? There's no incentive to get me a job, is there? Because I'm already paying you anyway. One of those agents has now gone quite in quite a public manner early this year or late last year. I can't remember when. But yeah, be careful of that as well.
But speaking of top agents, though, Ross, we've got a top agent on tonight. Act on this.
Actually, we have. Yeah, we're not. It just sounds like we're here to just go. We're great, and look at us. We do everything right. Genuinely, though, folks, I work an awful lot in voiceover. And again, I'll be really, really completely honest and transparent. I really am transparent. Like, I talk about everything I'm doing in my career. I talk about what I've earned, like, on a monthly basis. I'm completely transparent. I will show you everything that I'm doing. And I do work a lot in voiceover. And I'm currently doing quite a lot of adverts. There's a UK TV advert for a biscuit company that I won't shout out just on a live stream. Other biscuits are available. I know, but I don't know if I should. But yeah, like last month alone. Again, I'm not saying this to be a knobhead. That job brought in about £12,549 in voiceover earnings, and I get asked a lot from actors who are like, I really want to get into voiceover, and they look at it as something they do on the side. Don't look at it as something you do on the side. This is something you've got to commit to, but if you do, it can really change your life. And I thought, you know what, who better to bring on as a guest on actonthis.tv tonight for our members, my own voiceover agents. Okay, so I'm repped by a voiceover agency that are super legit. They're amazing. They're called the Voiceover Gallery. They've got offices in London and Manchester. They've been going for 20 years this year. And I'm bringing my agents, Lizzie and Katie, who work up in the Manchester office, on a live Zoom call for members of actonthis.tv tonight. And we're going to go over everything, what voiceover is, the kind of work that's out there, how much you can earn from voiceover, creating a voice reel that actually gets you work, as opposed to one that some cowboy's done for you that just is never going to lead to work. We look at we're going to look at everything, sort of like the whole reel creation process. We're going to look at approaching voiceover agents, tips and tricks to get representation, because it's not always easy, but it is possible, if you're dedicated and you're good enough. I'm even going to show like some of my usage, what they call usage payments. So in terms of when you do a voiceover, if it's an advert, you'll get paid usage on top of it. People might know that term from the acting industry. But I'm going to show you how that's calculated at the moment, because it's all done, especially on social media, via impressions. We're going to show you what you can get paid, and how that's all sort of calculated. It's all completely transparent and legit. I'm bringing my own agents on to show you this stuff. I've got a trailer. Should we play it, Pet, to show people a little bit about what we're going to talk about? I'm just going to take you and I off the screen for a second. I'm just going to play a trailer. This is happening 7:30 p.m. tonight for all members of actonthis.tv. If you're not a member, if you go to actonthis.tv or actonthis.tv/live to check out the live schedule, get a membership by 7:30 p.m. tonight, and you can join us on this call. It's £6.75 a week. It is dirt cheap, and it is legit. If you're not a member yet and you join, if you don't like it in the first 30 days, email me. I will refund you. I do not want your money if you do not enjoy and get value from this. But if you ask any of our members, they'll tell you they just wish they joined sooner. So I'm going to take us off the screen, Petch, and I'll play this. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Remove Petch, remove myself. Actors, if you are not exploring the world of voiceover, you are literally leaving thousands of pounds on the table. So if you do want to explore voiceover, I want to invite you to this week's Act On This.tv live mastermind session. It is taking place on Tuesday, the 4th of June at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom with these two absolute legends here, my own voiceover agents, and genuinely two people who have honestly changed my life in this industry. Lizzie Finch and Katie Burks from top voiceover agency, the Voiceover Gallery. Ladies, welcome. It's amazing to have you back on actonthis.tv. What are we going to be covering on Tuesday night then?
Oh, yeah, thank you for having us back. So we're going to be covering what exactly a voiceover is, what types of voiceover work there is out there, and also how much money you could make as a voiceover artist.
Everybody's ears have just pricked up right now when it's talking about money. Katie, what else?
We're going to talk about how to approach a voiceover agency, the do's and don'ts. It's not always that easy to get yourself on the book, but there are tricks that we can teach you, and what we expect to hear in your reel, which is basically the CV of the voiceover world, and how to get a reel recorded. We can teach you all about that on Tuesday.
Amazing. We're going to literally dive into it all. Honestly, folks, we're going to walk you through step by step how you get yourself set up in the voiceover world effectively. We're also going to throw open the floor to Q&A. Anything we can help you with, push your career forward in this part of the industry. We are here for it. If you want to get involved, get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of this session and every session. We sit down almost every single week with the biggest casting directors, the biggest agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV. And ladies, bit of pressure. Don't know who wants to take this. I'm going to ask you this. I ask this every guest. Why don't actors want to miss this session in particular?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
I think on Tuesday, we're going to reveal the most money that one of our voiceover artists has made in 1 hour. So have a little think about what that number might be, and we will reveal that on Tuesday.
We may run a sweepstake. Honestly, be prepared. It's probably quite staggering. I know you're definitely going to want to find out about it. Be there, folks. Honestly, this will be one of the most valuable sessions we do this year. actonthis.tv/live. Boom! actonthis.tv/live. Get a membership. Join us tonight. We've got also 2 times BAFTA winning TV casting director Aisha Bywaters coming on next Thursday. We do these sessions every single week. We're literally with the biggest names in the game. No bullshit there. We do bring on the best people in the industry. So do join us for that if you can. We've got a couple of minutes left, Pedro. We've got 6 minutes left. Anything coming through question-wise? Anything that we can answer for people?
Yeah, Sharon Spink has just asked, why do voiceover artists quote their rates when on acting rates are specified by the production company?
There's a lot more flexibility within voiceover. There are equity rates for certain things, and you'll see rate cards out there that will give you estimations of what something should be charged, either sometimes by like the word count of the document, or sometimes in terms of usage that will be attached to that as well. But it's a lot more flexible, Sharon, in terms of negotiating the voiceover industry, because voiceover, I mean, I would say generally, obviously, there's less involvement with it than there would be an acting job. Obviously, an acting job, you've probably got rehearsals involved, script learning involved, travel to the set, shooting all day. There's a lot more to do there than there is with voiceover. Voiceover, I literally have a home studio in my wardrobe in my bedroom. I'm going to show you tonight on the call my setup and all the kit, the exact kit that I use. If people want to get hold of the kit that I use and you want to see what it is, if you go to actonthis.tv/voiceover, all one word, you can download my kit list for free. Just a resource that people might find useful. But I'm going to go over all that tonight. So I'm more lenient in terms of if someone comes to me and they've got a budget that's not quite what I'm used to working with, I'll be like, well, you know what, like I can still do it from home. I can be a lot more accommodating with fees and stuff like that. So you'll find there's a more negotiation goes down in the voiceover industry than the acting industry. Acting is very often dictated by equity and equity packed rates. If it's an equity packed contract, which is generally every TV contract, is dictated with the minimum equity rates there. So yeah, you can get your negotiation on a bit more, Sharon.
That's all the questions that have come through.
All the questions, and we finished in 3 minutes to spare. But folks, thank you, and let us know, please, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching the replay on YouTube or anywhere. I mean, do subscribe. We're going live right now on X, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and please follow us on all of those platforms. Act On This TV, you'll find us everywhere, but particularly YouTube, because you're going to get notifications every time we go live. If you subscribe on YouTube and you hit the bell notification, the little bell icon, just select all, and every time me and Petch go live, it's going to send you an email. You don't have to join us live there and then. At least later on in the day, if you miss it, you can click on the link in the email and you'll go straight to the replay. So it's a way of keeping up with everything. But yeah, we hope to keep you updated with industry news. We went live yesterday. We've gone live today. Obviously, we've got a member call tonight. We're going to try and go live. Do you think we can do it most days, Petch? What do you reckon? Or is that too much?
We can, yeah. No, I think we can. And if you are catching up on the replay, please do leave us comments in the section below. We do go back, we do read them, and we appreciate them. Drop us a like on every video and share it with all your active friends as well if you think they might find it useful. Hopefully they will. And
also, yeah, if you are watching the recording or even if you're here live after the recording, I'd love you to maybe drop into the comments something that you have found actually valuable and useful. Or, I mean, again, I don't really want it to be like a negative comment section with people naming people they didn't find useful. I'm not here to cause drama, basically, but if there's something you think actors should know about, or maybe you've not had a good experience or you have had a good experience with something, it's useful to share it.
Is there something we've missed? Is there something else that you guys do that, in your research for these courses and things that we haven't mentioned or anything? I'm always up for learning more hints and tips.
Yeah, anything that you do that helps you figure out who's legit and who isn't in the industry. Because like in all walks of life, it's not just the acting industry. In everything, you will find these people who promise you something and just get you no results. Look at like in the fitness industry. They'll show you before and after of clients that are like, AI has made them have this massive six-pack, and you can tell it's not even the same person. You're like, well, the person's got a tattoo on the before, but on the after it's gone, and they've got a six-pack. Like there's a lot of people out there who will manipulate stuff to sell you stuff and get your money, and once they've got it, they don't want to know you, or they won't help you, or they won't provide anywhere near the value they were promising up front. So it's not just our industry, it is across the board. But yeah, please be careful out there, folks.
Sharon
it's crazy.
Said, personal recommendation is always the best way to find who to work with. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Sharon.
Yeah, word of mouth's really, really important. Definitely, that's that's always good if you know the person and you're mates with them, like not just anybody. Because again, we could just say, oh yeah, they're great. Go and work with them. Just for the record, I will only ever recommend people that I genuinely believe in, and I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get paid. People try and pay me every week to sell their headshot sessions, their show reels, their acting classes, some other bullshit things that they want to sell. And they'll say if I send an email out to my newsletter with that in, they'll pay me. I will never do that. Just to let you know, there's nearly 15,000 actors on the Act On This email list. I will never, ever send you anything to get you to buy something that I don't wholeheartedly believe in. And I really mean that. And I'm going to be even strict than ever before moving forward, because there's a few things that I see in the industry that I used to think were all right that I'm like, okay, you're probably sold out now. So I won't be promoting some of those things moving forward. So yeah, I promise you, if I ever email you or you want to get on the email list, if you're not a member of Act On This, go to actonthis.tv/subscribe. Jump on the email list. You'll find out exactly what's going on each week in our content, and sometimes I'll send other people's content out as well, but only if I believe in them. You know, show real scenes, wholeheartedly believe in Chris Stone, worked with him for years. Tony Blake for Headshots is fantastic. I love Act for TV, great acting class. Act Up North, I really like. They're amazing as well. Just Had Milk do really good and reasonably priced acting workshops, otherwise I wouldn't have sponsored them. Just sponsored a bursary with them. So there are some really great people out there, and there's others there that I'm not mentioning that I'm sure are great as well. I just don't know a lot about a lot of the other companies. But just bear in mind everything that we've talked about. If people are not being transparent with their pricing, the number of people on the workshop, who the person is, just be careful. Just be careful, folks. But hopefully this has been useful. Really appreciate everybody for being here. Petch, I'm going to go and get ready, do some slides for our voiceover session with the voiceover gallery tonight. You're going to go out and get your steps in and go to the gym.
Well, it's absolutely belting it down now, so maybe not.
Petch is doing a home workout, or just not doing anything. But yeah, we will be back 7:30 p.m. tonight with the voiceover gallery for all Act On This members. So come and check us out. And there's also 143 sessions of previous sessions in the members area with the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers. You get recordings of everything if you're a member. That's something we always do. You know, if you're a member, you get access to literally all of our content under one membership. We don't upsell you. We don't try and sell you some other bullshit. If you're a member, you get access to everything straight away. Yeah, I'm trying to be. We're just the most legit Petch.
Why don't we do a couple of things right now? One, show people where they can go and watch the previews of every call that we've ever done. So they can have a sample of what the website's like. And two, why don't we give away some of our calls that we've got out there for free, like the Spotlight
for free
one.
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. People, yeah, good. This is why I have Petch on these. He knows what he's doing. So actonthis.tv, folks. So this is the main website. If I find where is it, this one? Is it that one, Petch? Am I on the right tab now?
You're on the right one.
So it's that one. So if you go to actonthis.tv and you click on preview features, top right hand corner there, in the middle, you can watch 2-minute trailers of every call that we've held in the last 12 months. There's about 143 of them. So last week we had casting director Claire Bleasdale on for a 2-hour session talking about... Actually, Claire's quite unique. She casts TV, she casts film, she casts theatre and commercials as well. Quite unique. Most people just focus on one or two of those two mediums. The week before that, one of the biggest casting directors in the land, Victor Jenkins, responsible for ITV's The Long Shadow, Unforgotten... back in the day, things like Broadchurch, Fleabag. Victor's been in the industry ages. A top bloke, so good, but working at the very, very top. Great agents, Guy Howe from WGM Atlantic, Hollyoaks director and on-set acting coach, Mr. David Crowley, also runs a company called Act Up North, can highly recommend. Chris Stone, we do a show Real Surgery live every quarter. Talks all about money and accountancy to save you hundreds, if not thousands of pounds a year if you're self-employed. And if you're not self-employed and you're an actor, you should be, because you're throwing money away if you're not. That was a session on our affiliate scheme to help our actors earn money by helping us grow the community. We do Act On This Answers, which is a huge Q&A with Petch and I, Alex Priestley, another great agent. I mean, there's 144 features here. You can break it down if you want in these categories at the side. So you can go, okay, like, you know, which agents have been on recently? Click on agents, and then you'll find here just all of the agents that have been on, and you'll find the biggest agents in the land. Really, really great agents on there. You'll find dozens of sessions with them. If you're looking for representation, if you're looking for more auditions, click on the one with casting directors. You'll see who we've had on recently, casting director wise. Dan Hubbard, cast Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman on Netflix, huge show at the moment. The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. Guy's, you know, not Guy's a legend, but Dan's a legend as well. Dan's from a legendary casting family, the Hubbards. Roz and John, his mum and dad, were in the industry forever, casting huge stuff. His sister Amy and Dan cast today. Not everyone with the surname Hubbard is legit, by the way. There are other people in the industry who have the surname Hubbard who I think try and dine out on that, and they're not related. So just be aware of that as well. Don't presume just because somebody's got a surname of someone who is legit that they are legit as well. Honestly, there's so much in this industry that's just dodge. Like, just do your research on people. But yeah, actonthis.tv, go in the preview section, you can check it out there. And then we've got a couple of free features so you can see what the kind of features that we do. We did a great deep dive with Spotlight, didn't we, Petch?
Yeah.
Recently on profiting from your Spotlight profile as quickly as possible. And you'll find that at actonthis.tv/Spotlight. Again, we're not affiliated. We don't get paid by Spotlight. This was nothing to do with like any hookup like that. But Spotlight Success Manager Mel Brown did a 2.5 hour deep dive with us. It's completely free. Go to actonthis.tv/Spotlight. I promise you're going to learn stuff there you never knew existed to help you really, really bling out your Spotlight profile and get more auditions ultimately. So that's one you should definitely go and check out. Other ones, we did a great round table, didn't we, with Stephen Graham, Lewis Arnold, when BBC's Time came out. If you go to actonthis.tv/Time, you'll find a session there that we did, again, with the biggest names in the game. Real, legit people. No bullshit here. We had Lewis Arnold on that, one of the biggest directors in the country. Tom Sherry, who was the head of BBC Drama at the time. Stephen Graham, Hannah Walters, James Nelson Joyce. Massive, massive names on that. Sasha Spark, who was Lewis's editor, who edited Time. That's a free session. You can go and watch completely free. actonthis.tv/Time. And then we got one with Nicola Schindler, which is amazing. Nicola's a 7 times BAFTA-winning producer. Produced huge things like, I mean, God, every Harlan Coben thing going on Netflix, like Fool Me Once, The Stranger. Also did things like After the Flood, Years and Years, It's a Sin. Massive, massive stuff. If you go to actonthis.tv/Nicola, you can watch a 60-minute podcast for free that we did with Nicola in her offices in Key Street. Has this got sound, Patch? I wonder if it has. No, it's not got sound to share with everybody on here.
I'm sure
we literally went and sat down in Nicola's office. Oh, could you hear that?
Yep.
Oh, right, okay. We sat in Nicola's office at Key Street. Nicola's amazing, such an inspirational woman, has set up many production companies in her time. Red Production Company, one of the biggest in the land. She's now set up Key Street, producing some of the best drama on earth. So that's actonthis.tv/Nicola. So the 3 free ones are basically actonthis.tv/Spotlight, then /Time, then /Nicola. They're 3 free features that you can go and check out for nothing, just so you know we're legit, basically.
Nice.
Good work, Patch. Right. He was just putting off going and getting his steps in the rain, but I will get rid of that for now. Here we are. Right, and we've got no flashy exit or anything like that. We've got no exit video. I'm going to make one, so for our live streams we have like a flashy see you later video. But we will just have to cut the live stream off now. But thank you, folks, for being here. It really means the world. Do subscribe on all those platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Turn the notifications on. You'll know when we're live every time moving forward. And if we can help you with anything, please just reach out. Drop in at our DMs. Send me an email. ross@actonthis.tv. Petch's email address is lee@actonthis.tv. That's his real name. lee@actonthis.tv. And we'll help you with whatever we can. That it, Petch?
I think that's it, yeah. Get
That's
ready
the
for
one.
tonight.
Right,
there are
gonna
cool places to join us tonight as well. Please do come and sign up if you're not a member already.
Yep. Come and get on that session for the voiceover gallery tonight. If you want to launch a career in voiceover and you want to explore it, it can be an incredible industry. Well, part of this industry to work in. Right, going to love you and leave you, folks. Love to everybody. Have an amazing week. We'll be live again very, very soon. Until next time, Petch, you know what time it is. We say this on everyone. In 3, 2, 1.
Bye
Bye for now. Bye for now, folks. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. I'm going to end.